People are saying that V and JK were seen getting emotional at the camp, and this is kind of a crazy story. We also have some pictures being debated and talked about, and then we have the label getting some backlash over what happened recently. So that means it's safe to say, let's get into it. This backlash that I was seeing online was wild because people were upset that apparently J-Hope's merch was too good. And if you're not aware, he's recently going on tour and he dropped some merch. I believe you can buy it online, or it should be available now to buy online, but perhaps it'll also be available on tour. I don't know that for sure, but a lot of artists like to bring their merch on tour with them, so hopefully you'll get an opportunity to buy them at the venues if you couldn't get them online. I'm not going to say for sure you can get them, but maybe. The designs are very much streetwear, and it's very much different from the brand of BTS and the brand of J-Hope, so people wouldn't know that it was from them, which I remember the boys mentioning wanting to create merch like that, which J-Hope has done here. Now, someone took the merch from the new catalog that J-Hope released and compared it to some of the more recent merch the company had dropped. So this was a merch for BTS as a whole, and this was dropped, I believe, fairly recently. And the design was created simply by the company. It wasn't created by the boys as far as I'm aware, and as far as the general public was aware. The boys didn't have any involvement in these particular designs, although I'm sure they did when they first started. But for this particular launch, it was just the logos and stuff, and people were saying that it was very lazy because you can see the effort that was put into J-Hope's merch. But it seemed like all the label did was just take a logo and slap it and likely sell it to you for like maybe $40 to $50. I actually don't know how much they went for. Now, I can understand the outrage due to the price, and even if it was sold for like 20 bucks, which a hoodie nowadays for 20 bucks would definitely be a deal. But I can see that it could still make some people upset because you're spending money. I would see that someone would want to invest in something that is more new and different. However, the label could drop something really amazing and great, and I'm sure they could hire designers to create something really different. I do think there is a reason why they may have chosen not to do that. One of them, and the reason I believe to be true, is just the fact that not every drop needs to be something amazing and needs to be something revolutionary and different. Sometimes a drop could just be to get something out there. They're wanting to get the logo back out there again, them wanting to even resell some of the old designs that maybe they had, and because we know that this logo was something that they sold a lot of back then. I remember seeing a lot of people wearing hoodies with just the BTS or ARMY logo on it. Other reasons could just be them having a lot of leftovers that they haven't sold yet and them wanting to push that again and sell them again. And there's just so many reasons why someone like a label might choose to do that. And I don't think any of those reasons are bad. It's very interesting what the community would decide to be upset about, because when we see merch that's really good, like what J-Hope has, the first thought isn't to enjoy the merch and be really happy about the launch, but to go back and be upset about something the label dropped. Like, can we just enjoy the recent drop and not go back? This is why I say the community seems to often look for something to be upset about. Why aren't people looking for something to be happy and excited about? Why are people trying to be upset? Are they happier to be upset? People were also upset over an edit that had circulated a long time ago. And I guess it's being brought up again, and a lot of people who are new to the community will kind of go through the same phases that the general community had gone through, if that makes sense. So they might do something that the general community had done before, and the general community decided wasn't a good idea to do. And then people who are now newly joining might relive that moment and then not be aware that they're supposed to do that thing. And what will happen is the community will shame them and will target them and attack them and basically say that they shouldn't be doing that. But they won't say it in a nice way. And one of the reasons why I've never fit into this community, the ARMY community, aside from the fact that I come on here and attack them every day, but the other reason is the fact that I've been attacked. I've been on the end of that, and I just don't listen. I'm like, I'm going to do whatever I want to do because no one is going to be the boss of me, and I can do whatever I want to do. I'm not hurting anybody, and I don't think any of my actions are hurting anybody. There was this photo that was posted a long time ago where it was JK and V and their friend. That photo was then edited to remove the friend and put Jimin in. People have, I guess, made a pact to agree to never show the edited photo again, and they said that it's only reasonable or nice to show a photo that includes the friend because they don't want to purposely not include a friend that also might mean something to JK and Jimin. And I get that. It's rude because if the original picture did include that friend, imagine the friend coming online and seeing a bunch of edits with him cut out of it. I think this is where a lot of people who are new to the community don't fully understand why this is not a big deal. Because the photo in which the friend is cut out and Jimin is placed in is a photo that includes 3 of the BTS members. So they think that even if it is an edited photo where, let's say, V is also pieced in or JK is also pieced in from another photo and the whole picture is photoshopped, people tend to think, well, this isn't a big deal because it just shows all 3 members. Now, of course, it's up to you on what your decision is on this and whether you believe this is unethical for people to post the edited picture or if it's not a big deal. I see both sides of this. I do think it is a bit of an overreaction when you do see someone post something, and I also do believe it's a bit of an overreaction when you believe someone has done something that goes against what the community might have agreed upon not to do. Because someone might not have been there, and not every person in the community is chronically online to the point where they know every single rule. It also makes people who don't know every single rule feel like it's impossible to join the community because there's so much to learn before they are able to join. I don't have this as much as before, but I used to have people message me and ask me how they can join the ARMY community and become an ARMY and what the qualifications were, because they felt like there were so many qualifications. And all I said was, if you like BTS and you want to feel like you're part of the community and you want to call yourself an ARMY, then you should. Some people were upset by that, and when they found out publicly, because they were like, no, it takes so much more than that, while other people were excited to be part of the community, right? So it's up to you what you think. I'm curious to hear what your particular thoughts are, something that I've never really shared on here before. Also, apparently there's this rumor that V and JK saw each other at the camp recently and hadn't seen each other for a while. So they said goodbye and both of them started crying. So a lot of people were definitely wondering why they were saying goodbye, why they were crying, and what was going on there. So just backtrack a little bit. There was a video that was posted online that said that JK was driven to some location. That location, V was there, and then V came out. They hugged each other, and they spent a little time together. And then it was clear that when it was time for V to leave, he started crying a lot. People were left wondering if they weren't going to see each other for a really long time, and if that was the reason why they cried a lot, or if the reason was something a little bit more wild. Now, I'm going to answer this question by not really answering the question, but it will answer the question. This is an AI video that is made up, and this story is made up. This whole thing is made up. This is not a real story. This literally did not happen, and they're not crying over each other. I know you're probably hoping for an explanation as to why they're crying, but it literally didn't happen. These videos are very strange because they will take these stories, they will stretch it out really long, and the story is told in a way where it's somewhat believable, right? We can believe that they probably would travel some distance to see each other at the camp, and it wouldn't be the most outrageous thing in the world to even assume that one of the members might even be pulled away somewhere else and both of them could not see each other for a really long time. However, if 2 soldiers don't see each other for a really long time, and they normally do see each other very often, it might be because they are sent to different divisions, and chances are they would never see each other for the duration of their enlistment, if that was the case. However, the thing is, they likely do see each other on their off time, and they often get little breaks here and there, or weekends and that sort of stuff, where they can contact each other and see each other. So they wouldn't even go that long without ever seeing each other. Second of all, I think the part of the story that talks about how JK was driven and dropped off somewhere just to see V makes very little sense, because it makes it appear as if it's happening in the military and they're all in the military uniform. And that makes very little sense, because why would the military waste their money and resources to drop 2 soldiers off just so that they can say goodbye to each other? They could care less whether these 2 people say goodbye to each other or not. They're just trying to do their job, which is to ship the soldiers off. If that's what they're doing, they don't owe another person an explanation for shipping a different person. The only person they might tell would be the parents of the person that they're shipping. Definitely not the friends or other soldiers. Let me know what you think. Make sure to check out Patreon for more videos. Link down below. Things just leave a comment right here. Love you. Bye.